congratulations on the victory the other day, GB victory.
Oh yeah.
Good luck. Good luck. What's it all about? I mean, how well is it going GB-wise as we approach 2012?
No, it's going well. I mean, we just qualified for the 2012, so that's behind us. We don't have to worry about that. We actually also qualified for the Euros next year, so I think a lot of teams now we're recognized in Europe. You know what we just did in our group, qualifying the way we did. You know, we're starting to show that we're one of the best teams in Europe, on our way there.
In the last couple of years, the English, British team's evolved in terms of its strength and structure and organisation. It's looking more like a complete unit. For you, what's helped to galvanise that in the last couple of years?
I just think, you know, Great Britain has, you know, the program kind of stepped it up. You know, I think asking the guys to come back, taking care of the guys during the year with what they need. And those kind of things, you know, takes the program to another level. I think before guys just, whoever showed up would play. But now it's actually competitive. Guys are working on their game, trying to make it. And that raises the level. And obviously, the better the men do, the senior men team, the younger guys are going to follow. You're going to have better players because, you know, everyone's trying to make it.
Approaching 2012, if the preparation was perfect, how would it go for you?
I mean, for me, it's always, I'm always trying to be my best. You know, I know basketball, I know what I do. So I always prepare myself, you know, to handle those situations. As a team, I think it's going to be a wake-up call to a lot of people. Just people realizing that, you know, Great Britain actually plays basketball. We compete, we have athletes, we have well-known guys, and we're looking forward to it. It's almost like an introduction for basketball in this country, and we want to be ready for it and, you know, make sure we do a good job.
Talk about it being an introduction. You can still walk the streets of London quite normally. I suppose it's a little bit different when you're in America. After 2012, however, your profile is going to shoot through the roof as people become aware of actually what he's achieved over the last 4 or 5 years. Are you ready for that?
I mean, I think so. I've always been ready. You know, I never played for, you know, what goes on outside the court. You know, I just it comes with what I do. You know, I think whether people realize or not, I think at the end of the day, it's all about, you know, if I'm satisfied with what I'm accomplished. GB and playing in the Olympics has always been a dream of mine since I was young. So, you know I'm going to be ready. You know, God forbid, I want to be healthy. You know, you can't control injuries, but those are the kind of things that could stop, you know, us from doing what we want to do.
Let's talk about the charity while we're here. Tell me exactly what it's about, how we got started, how you got involved.
You know, I'm originally from Sudan. My parents are from Sudan. There's been a civil war in Sudan for 25 years or more. And since I was growing up, I've always wanted to help somehow. I knew somehow I was going to give back. And we've started about 5-6 years ago. I started the Luol Deng Foundation. And basically what my foundation focuses on is basically education, sports, water, clean water, and providing needs for those you know, the unfortunate. And focus a lot on refugees, helping refugees who flee, you know, whether it's Sudan, Kenya, or the neighboring countries. And basically just trying to help, you know, trying to help those who are not as lucky as we are.
Did you get to go to Sudan often, or?
I just did. Last month I went to Sudan. I went to Kenya and Sudan. I spent 5 days in a refugee camp, and I spent about 3 or 4 days back in Sudan and South Sudan.
What was the refugee camp experience like? Because I can imagine it's a world away from the creature comforts that you've earned for yourself. And how were you received by the people that actually were there as well, probably looking at you thinking he doesn't have to do this?
I think we're going to show a short video, but it was unbelievable. I was just amazed by how many people I've touched by just, you know, the things that I do, and obviously basketball. But when I went there, it was very emotional. The refugee camp has about 72,000 people. There's 50 to 70 people coming in every day. There's 200 kids being born every month. So you can tell, you know, it's getting larger and larger, and these are people that are fleeing their home for a better life. And from what I saw, if that's what you call a better life from what they flee from, then I can't imagine what it was like before. And it just motivated me even more. I think we take a lot of things for granted. And just being there, I really realized how lucky I am. and I want to do whatever I could do just to make sure that they have a better life.
You're going to be raising the profile of your foundation towards the back, because obviously as a basketball you can only do these in a small window when you're not in the off season, as it were. So you're going to be over the next couple of years rolling it out across Africa, or are you going to focus?
No, I'm really, I'm still 25.
Yeah, I know, people forget that.
And the toughest thing is I've always wanted to do this, but when you're young, it's very difficult. And the older I'm getting, I see the importance of it, and I'm willing to put in even more time than I did before. I think just these kind of dinners. Hopefully, when I go back to Chicago, we'll do a lot of short, commercials, advertising, just to send a message out there. I think I want to teach the people what's going on, because I think a lot of people will help once they realize how many people are in the camp, how many refugee camps are there, why are they leaving their country, and I think a lot of people will help. I think a lot of people don't have the knowledge or don't know.
Awareness is everything, isn't it?
The awareness, people don't know that, and a lot of people would help. And once people realize that t-shirt you have in the corner of your house that you never wear, someone will actually wear it. Someone will use it, and once you start teaching people those kind of things, I think that's how we start helping each other out.
You've obviously got the platform and you can rope in other basketballers. Have you thought about that, or is that something that's to come?
I'm sorry, say that.
And so you can rope in and get other basketballers involved and obviously get a bigger platform to expose what you're doing. Is that something you thought about?
I mean, it's something that I always thought about, but it's so hard to. I never want to go up to somebody and force their hand to do something. All I can do is really do what I'm doing, pass the knowledge around, the awareness around, and just hopefully they will do something similar. Whether it's the same place, their country, their neighborhood, just anywhere. Because there's people all over the world that are struggling, and if it's in your hand to do something, if you could, I think you should.
Basketball, you're still a Bulls player. You nearly wasn't though, wasn't he, at one point?
It happens, man. With basketball, you hear a lot of things. A lot of people want to put you somewhere. A lot of people want to see you somewhere else, and a lot of it is always talk. I think at the end of the day, no matter what, I'm going to be playing basketball. I'm happy to be a Chicago Bull. I want to be Chicago Bulls my whole career, but if I'm not, I'm still going to be playing basketball.
What's going to raise the profile of the sport in this country? Now, what needs to be done? I mean, obviously 2012 is going to be a huge catalyst. But if nothing's done, if nothing's put in place to take advantage of that motion, that energy, it will be the same as it was prior to the game.
I've tried so much to. I've always said it, what we really need is a sports facility, a practice facility. I think you provide that, and it will just take a lot of kids out of the street. When kids have things to do, they want to have the energy to do all these other things that get them in trouble. And it's so hard for a kid to play a sport when there's not much attention to it. A kid might love basketball, but if you're not showing the attention and the commitment to it, they're going to prefer, they're going to do something else, whether it's sports or hang out in the streets with their buddies. And I think that's one way, to stop or to limit down the crimes in this country.
On court, off court, the next 12 months, if they went perfectly, how would they go?
The next 12 months. I think if it went perfectly, which is not going to happen, but if it ever went perfectly, I think the foundation will accomplish what it's trying to do, and that's pretty much help every refugee, help all those who need help. Sports-wise, I think we'll go undefeated, we'll win the championship, and I'll be showing off my ring. But we all know it don't go perfectly.
Good luck.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for your time, man.